Well, hi, everyone. This is Rob Fulton on the Workterra team, and we're going to review the voluntary benefits that are available through SFHSS, through the Workterra voluntary benefit portal. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you may not be. But during open enrollment every year, and sometimes mid-year, we'll have a special open enrollment. But these are the voluntary benefits that the City and County of San Francisco offers through Workterra to supplement or complement the core benefits, so to speak, that are made available to you and provided to you through the city and county. So these are all voluntary benefits. They're designed to fill gaps and provide extra coverage, extra benefits for everyone to participate in if they would like to. They're available during this year's open enrollment, which, as you can see on the screen, hopefully you can see on the screen, began on October 3rd and ends at the end of the month. And these are deductions that you would elect that would take place, of course, beginning in January for the 2023 plan year. We're going to talk about the different programs that are available, which are an additional group term life insurance through Hartford. You have Hartford employer-paid life insurance, but you can enroll in additional term life insurance. There's also a supplemental disability plan that adds to the state plan and any other Social Security benefits you might receive if you were to become disabled on a short-term basis. And then we have a couple of supplemental medical products from MetLife, accident insurance and critical illness insurance. And we'll talk about those for a few minutes, of course. And then an identity protection plan through Allstate, a legal plan through Legal Shield, and everyone's favorite insurance, pet insurance through Pets Bets. So we'll talk about those. And one of the things to make a note of is that these are discounted premium rates that are negotiated on behalf of the city and county. Most of the plans are guarantee issue, meaning that there aren't any health questions or health qualifications. They're paid for with post-tax payroll deductions from your paycheck. And most of the plans are portable, meaning that should you leave the city and county, you would be able to take them with you. Very, very important, because you may not remember everything you see or you hear or you read, is that all of this information is available in a number of places. The SFHSS, as you very well know, has a page where it has all your benefit information, and there is a button or a place where you can click that says voluntary benefits, and it's a page in the benefit guide, and it talks about all of these benefits. It does a summary of all of them. Also, you can actually schedule an educational enrollment session at your convenience all throughout the month by going to workterravboe.com or calling 866-528-5360. So you can actually schedule a time to talk about these benefits with one of the benefit advocates that are available. And these are not agents. These are employees of Workterra. They're available to walk you through, answer any questions you have, and actually help you enroll at that time if you would like to. So you can go to that website. You can call that number and actually schedule a time to walk through them, which is great. And actually, what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if you go to that website, this will come up and it'll say, welcome to the Workterra 2023 Voluntary Benefits Open Enrollment Session Schedule. And what you can do is you scroll down here, and the only designation you have to check here is whether you're part of MEA or a CCF employee. So if I'm a CCS employee, I check that box, I hit continue. I'm able to go in and say, I'd like to schedule a time tomorrow, October 12th at 8:30. And I would put that in there. You could do that any day you wanted to, and you can see all throughout the month, there's days to schedule to do that. And then you can continue, put in your information, email, name, phone number. Yes, I'd like a reminder. And we would actually have a benefit advocate call you at that designated time after the reminders at the number that you left, and then we could walk through the benefits. It's a really nice opportunity during open enrollment. If you have any further questions, if you would like any help at all whatsoever with enrollment. So please take advantage of that if you would like to. And again, go online or schedule it. It's very easy. You can also get to, as I mentioned, the Workterra tile. It's not a button, it's actually a tile on the website. You can access that through my apps. And there's actually a website where you can actually go back and watch this webinar afterwards. So lots of different opportunities, lots of different ways to access the information after our discussion today. The first thing we want to talk about is a life insurance program that was new last year called Lifetime Benefit Term Insurance. And in addition to the Hartford plan, where and the rates are in the Hartford plan, they're all on the website. It's very simple. But in addition to that plan, you can buy an individual term plan from Chubb. And really the reason we put this together is because this plan not only pays a life insurance death benefit, it's level, which is kind of unlike term, in that the premiums never go up, the rates never go up. So it's more like a permanent plan, like a universal life or a whole life, but it is a term plan. And those death benefits are guaranteed 100% all the way through age 70 or for 25 years. And then they reduce in half when probably your life insurance needs are a little bit less. And the great thing about this plan is that it has a long-term care benefit, and it's called Acceleration for Long-Term Care. And what this does essentially is that if you have this life insurance, providing a death benefit for you, which is great to help replace your income, etc. However, if you become confined to a long-term care facility or not, but need adult daycare or assisted living or home care, and any of those things are triggered by a failure of 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living. In other words, maybe you can't feed yourself, you can't take your medicines or whatever, but those would trigger this benefit. And essentially what it does is it pays your death benefit out on a monthly basis early so that you can utilize it when perhaps you need it more for the cost of long-term care or assisted living. And it actually pays 4% of the death benefit for 25 months and then an additional 25 months. So it's a pretty neat benefit. As you may or may not know, long-term care, assisted living care is really, really expensive. And this is a great way to have life insurance protection while you're younger. And when you get older, if you do need to get some kind of care, this is a benefit that you could get that life insurance benefit paid out early when you need it the most. So essentially, you're using that death benefit early because you have greater needs for income to help offset those costs. And there's an example here, as you can imagine, as those payments are made to you, you still have the remaining death benefit. So if you were unfortunate enough to be in a long-term care facility for only a year or two, and then you passed away, the amount that you didn't take is still going to be paid as a remaining death benefit. So truly, it's an opportunity to advance the death benefit in the event that you need that care, and it's more important to have that for you and your family. There's a lot of guarantees built into that. The premiums are guaranteed. The death benefit is guaranteed, again, up to age 70 or for 25 years. Then it's guaranteed it cannot be below that. So it's portable. You can take it with you forever, whether you're working for the city and county or not. It's a really, really good plan. You can continue it for as long as you would like, and it's something that you should check into. You can call one of the benefit advocates. You can schedule that appointment session, and or you can go into Workterra or into the voluntary benefit pages and get a little bit more information. As I mentioned to you, everyone has some group term life that's provided by the city and county, but you can increase that amount. And this is just term insurance. The rate goes up every year as you get older or in certain bands. And so it's great. It's the least expensive way to have life insurance coverage for the short term. And again, rates are on the website. You can go in and look at them. Or again, the easiest thing to do is just to schedule a time and work through it and pull up the rates and decide what might be the best thing for you and your family. There's another program that we offer, and it's called Central Care Disability from Manhattan Life Insurance Company. And this disability covers disabilities on or off the job, and it's caused by accident or sickness. So it's a total disability plan. And what it's designed to do, because we all live in California, right? So in California, you have the state disability income plan that pays up to 55% of your income on a short-term basis. What this does is it supplements that, because 55%, although as long as you're not on unemployment, that benefit typically is not taxable if you're disabled while you're working. So the benefit paid to you by the state is not taxable. So that's nice, but still 55% is still probably a reduction in your take-home pay. So what this allows you to do for that first 6 months after a 7-day elimination period is have up to $3,000 a month on a guarantee issue basis, no health questions asked, and it pays on top of the state disability plan or Social Security if you were to get that early. So the idea is that it helps make up the difference, and it's a good plan. And again, rates are on the website, but it might be better to schedule that time. So, disability is something to definitely consider. It's something that we all face. It happens, and this is just a way to supplement what the state provides, because sometimes it's just not enough. As I mentioned, health services employees, it's a 7-day elimination period. And then if you're still disabled from that point forward, it would pay a benefit for 6 months. And at that time, you'd be eligible for Social Security. If you're a member of MEA, it's a little different plan, because there's a LTD plan that kicks in after 3 months, and it's a 14-day elimination. I'm going to turn the MetLife portion over to Jordan Johnson with MetLife, and we're going to walk through some of the benefits of the accident insurance and the critical illness insurance.
Great, thank you, Rob. So I'll be talking to you about some of the key features of our critical illness and accident plans. Similar to the programs Rob just spoke about, these benefits are voluntary, and they are intended to supplement your income in the event of a critical illness or accident. These plans are offered with guaranteed issue. There's no pre-existing condition limitations, meaning that when you sign up for coverage, you're enrolled. Payments are made directly to you, and our claim payment is fast. So where you do have an eligible accident or illness, we send you a check for you to use as you would like to support and offset any costs that you might incur. And these programs are portable. You can continue them at the same rates under your group plan if you change jobs or retire. Next slide. So our critical illness program provides a lump sum payment for over 40 covered conditions. And this slide here doesn't show all of the covered conditions, but it does provide insight to some of the more prominent features. So cancer, heart attack, stroke, any tumors, brain tumor failure, kidney failure. There's childhood diseases, infectious diseases, which include COVID-19, subject to a hospitalization requirement, progressive diseases. The items in bold do pay 100% of the benefit amount. And for employees, spouse, and children, you can elect an initial benefit of up to $50,000. So for any of the items in bold, upon an approved claim with the diagnosed illness under one of these categories, you can receive $50,000 for each event. Next slide. So some highlights of the program. Again, you can elect up to $50,000 coverage options for your employee, spouse, or child. This is unique in that everyone can elect that same high benefit amount. There is a health screening benefit of $100, and that benefit pays per person that's receiving an eligible health screening benefit. So a family of four could receive up to $400 additional per year just for staying on top of their screenings. Our benefits don't reduce with age. There is a 500% benefit amount, and what that means is our plan will pay 5 times the 50,000 benefit. If that's what you elect, we will pay that full benefit amount 5 times before you've maxed out the benefits available in this plan. And again, there's over 50 eligible health screening tests, which include COVID-19, and a mammogram benefit that will pay an additional $200 as a supplemental health screening benefit. So again, over 40 covered conditions, which include COVID-19, as well as some additional other illnesses. So talking about the health screening benefit, there's over 53 ways and screenings that qualify for a benefit payment of $100 per participant. Again, if your child or spouse receives an eligible screening benefit, they too can receive $100. Some of these routine exams include a wellness exam, a blood test, a colonoscopy, a glucose test, vision, hearing exam, even a COVID-19 test, regardless of your results. These are some examples of the common ways that you can receive a health screening benefit. To file a claim is also very simple. You simply call MetLife to submit your claim. There's no forms, and the payment is made quick for these benefits. And additionally, you have that $200 annual mammogram benefit that will pay an additional $200. If we look at a breakdown of your plan, employees have the choice of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 initial benefit amounts. Your total benefit amount is equal to 5 times the amount you choose, and you can receive additional benefits after for those ailments that have a recurrence benefit. So in looking at an example of an employee that had a heart attack, 2 heart attacks, cancer, and a total payment of $90,000 was paid. So as you can see, that first diagnosis, $30,000 was paid. That second diagnosis, which is a second heart attack 2 years later, $30,000 is paid. And then upon a first diagnosis of cancer, another $30,000 was paid. So as you can see, this employee is eligible for up to $150,000. The plan paid out $90,000 for this employee. If they continued to have additional covered conditions, there would be some remaining benefits to be paid out. Next slide. And looking at accident, over 150 covered events are covered, and these are off work or non-work related accidents or injuries. We have these common ailments under the different categories of injuries, medical services and treatments, accidental death and dismemberment, as well as your hospital benefits. And this can be anything as small as a cut, a laceration, a broken bone or tooth, or something as catastrophic as death or dismemberment. The accident insurance really is comprehensive and covers those injuries and illnesses and treatments associated with those accidents, including some of the hospital components that you can see on the far right. Next. So if we look at an example of the accident insurance plan and how it works, if we have someone that experienced an injury with 12 different types of services, we have 12 different types of services ranging from $25,000 to $15,000 per injury. The medical services and treatment offer 15 covered events ranging from $50,000 to $2,000 per treatment. Hospital coverage due to an accident will pay for your ICU and your confinement benefit, accidental death and dismemberment, as well as a lodging benefit of up to $150 per night, up to 15 nights. Next slide. So when looking at Bill, he experienced an accident at a baseball game and is injured, and as a result broke his femur and had a concussion. He's taken to the hospital by ambulance, and requires physical therapy as a result. This is a common example of what you can see in the accident plan. And as you can see in the blue section, we paid out many benefits for this single injury, paying $10,850 across his ambulance, emergency visits and testing, for the diagnosis of his concussion and broken femur, as well as to support his hospital stay and some of the services and post-treatment items afterwards. So this is a common example, and we pay across the different areas under the accident plan when an accident occurs. Next slide. So you can enroll today, enroll from today through October 31st, 2022 by visiting the sites listed here, the Workterra vboe.com to schedule an appointment with an advocate, or schedule an appointment on the My Apps SF.gov to enroll, or you can call a service rep. There are multiple different ways which are recapping on some of the items Rob spoke about earlier. But again, your accident and critical illness plans, you can enroll during open enrollment and in the event of a qualifying life event. These plans are portable and offer you a flat benefit payment paid directly to you to use as you choose in the event of a qualifying accident or illness. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Jordan. These are great programs, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how inexpensive they are. Often people will ask us, well, now which plan is right for me or what makes sense? I have health insurance, I have a medical plan, and I've heard it explained sometimes that the critical illness plan, because as you can imagine, 10, 20, 30, $40,000, it's a pretty good amount of money. And if you or anyone in your family or someone that you know have experienced a major illness or sickness or accident, a heart attack, a stroke, cancer, something like that, something very significant, of course, you have medical insurance and you have a great plan through the city and county. But the lifestyle changes and the indirect expenses of going through a major illness can be very significant. So having 10, 20, $30,000, et cetera, up to $50,000 to help offset those costs, things like missing work, your spouse having to miss work to help you, all the things that maybe insurance wouldn't cover but are important to you, retrofitting a house, doing some travel beyond what would be covered under your policy, gaining second opinions, or going to the best facility for a particular illness somewhere out of California. All of those things can be very significant. And this isn't designed to be doom and gloom, but this is reality. Is that these things do happen. They are very lifestyle changing, and unfortunately, there's significant financial repercussions to having a major illness or sickness or disease. So the critical illness can provide a fairly significant lump sum of money should you be diagnosed with any of those things. As a contrast, the accident plan is designed to have a very lengthy schedule of benefits that are paid for all sorts of things, and so that you can kind of be nickel and dimed when it comes to having an accident. Same indirect expenses you could incur. It may not be as significant as a major illness, but missing work and just all sorts of things that you decide to do that might help you on your own that may be outside of your medical plan. So it just provides, as Jordan mentioned, a direct payment to you for just about everything you could ever imagine. And so it's a great plan. It's very inexpensive. I've heard it said that anyone with kids should have the plan because kids are accident prone, right? So that's a little bit more. Again, as Jordan mentioned, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is available all through open enrollment. MetLife, of course, is a wonderful company, very large, strong, historically stable company. And these benefits are, again, on a group basis, so they're less expensive, no health questions. And again, the premiums paid very conveniently through the Workterra portal for payroll deduction. So that's very good. I'm going to do a quick check here. I don't think we have any questions or chats yet, but I'll just do a quick double check here. And do not believe that we do. So I'm going to go back and we will continue on. And I will increase this. And we will continue on. We're going to talk a little bit about, Brandon's going to help us here, an identity protection through Allstate. If you enrolled before, or if you remember this from last year or the year before, the program was called Info Armor, and Info Armor became part of Allstate, which is one of the largest insurance companies in the country, and they've enhanced it and made it even better. It's a very comprehensive program, very reasonably priced, that protects you in the event of your identity being stolen. And I'm not going to continue. I'm going to let Brandon continue because he's the expert.
Well, thank you very much, Rob. So as Rob mentioned, my name is Brandon Fournay. I'm a client service manager here at Allstate Identity Protection. So as we progress through time, everything's becoming more hybrid. Our professional and personal identities are out in the field or out in the cyberspace, blurring the line between home and office devices. And this means we're sharing more information about ourselves. The result is increased convenience, but also boosted, increased convenience for employees and boosted productivity for businesses. But with that convenience comes risk. We have to come. Oh, sorry, Rob. I think you skipped.
That's okay. Let's see. Did you
So
get that? Sorry about that, Brandon.
sorry about that. We've come
I
to
think
trust.
it's tracking.
Oh,
yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I've lost my spot here. Oh, you know what, Rob?
Families.
I do apologize for that. Your slides are different than the ones that I have.
Okay. Well, let's use mine because they're up there. Can you see the families facing growing risks?
Yeah. So
okay, great.
Yeah. So as we progress forward, families are spending more and more time online, which enhances the risk of having identities stolen. Children are targeted more and more, and we've introduced some new features to help proactively prevent some of those targets. Families are experiencing more and more fraud, and with that, it's greater losses, and families specifically have a longer remediation time than individuals do. Okay. Next slide.
I'm going to apologize to you, Brandon, in front of everybody, because what I just realized is that when I put the final composite PowerPoint slide together, I took out a few slides in the interest of time. So for everyone's benefit, that was my goof, not Brandon's.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we skipped ahead quite a bit.
Okay.
The reality is identity theft can cost you more than you think. Everyone has financial and social data in the digital space, and data breach exposing any of that information could keep you from thriving. Next slide. And so here's a estimated loss for 2020 was $56 billion associated to identity theft. Next slide. So what exactly is and isn't considered identity theft? Instances like financial accounts and credit cards being opened in your name, or when someone uses your social security number to file for government services, are considered identity theft. Instances like fraudulent credit or debit card transactions, hacked emails, and phone scams are not considered identity thefts. Next slide. Oh, I have to apologize. That slide is actually one of our older ones from InfoArmor days. That's the
Okay.
green one.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
do apologize for that.
That's
The
okay.
big,
Just talk through what's on the screen. Yeah, thanks.
yeah, biggest ones here to take note of. We are 100% US based, so we're based here in Arizona. Our remediation center, our call center is um, all based here. So when you call in, you get the same person each time you call. We have a 99% post remediation satisfaction. We're very proud of that. And this is actually a little bit old. We're actually covering a little over 12 million members protected right now.
Wow, that's amazing. 12 million. So this is an old slide. I apologize for that, Brendan. And I will say I have the program, and the consistency with the account rep that stays with you through the whole process is a great thing. Very, very good thing. So okay, I think I'm back on the blue. I think blue is the key to the new slide. So I think we're back on track here.
Yeah. So we are the world-class leader in security or in identity protection. With that, we take security to be utmost important. So we are SOC 1 and SOC 2 type accredited, which is the same type of accreditation that financial institutions require. Um, we actually have never been breached, and we're very proud of that. We also have a 99.9% uptime for our sites. And for additional security, we do require a two-factor authentication. So when you do log into your portal, it does send you a code to your phone or to your email address. And that way you're just doubly secured.
You know, Brandon, most people, as you mentioned, aren't familiar with SOC 1 and SOC 2 unless they're in the IT department. But that is really critical because, you know, large financial institutions are passing data back and forth, and it has to be super secure. And so you guys are using the same security protocols when you're dealing with someone's data. And I think that's really fantastic.
Definitely. Let's see, next slide. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it changed. uh, so why choose us? In measuring our impact over the last year, we're now protecting more people than ever. Uh, we've closed $12 million in fraudulent credit lines and sent more than 11 million alerts to our participants, warning them of potential fraud. We also help save members almost $35 million in potential lost wages. Next slide. So when fraud occurs, unraveling it can be overwhelming and costly. We have a full service remediation team to assist you throughout the entire process, and will go the extra mile to resolve your case and restore your identity, saving you time, money, and stress. Our remediation specialists are CITRIM certified, which stands for Certified Identity Theft Risk Management Specialist, and adhere to the best practices in identity remediation in the industry. Our privacy experts reside in our corporate headquarters here in Arizona, as I mentioned before. I'd like to also reiterate the fact that you have the same remediation specialists throughout any remediation case that's open. That way you work with the same person. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone else. And they also act as a limited power of attorney who can call on your behalf, send emails, and such. Next slide. So if you're enrolled in Allstate Identity Protection Pro, you'll see the many features included in the coverage here. And just so that everyone knows, you have the option of going for Pro or Pro Plus. If we go to the next slide, we can see the Pro Plus coverage. And so with Pro Plus, you can see that with both of our plans, we're offering more than just monitoring credit. Next slide. So enrolling in a family plan allows you to extend coverage to loved ones. We offer a generous definition of family using under roof, under wallet as our guidelines. Dependents at any age who live within your household or are supported financially by you are eligible to enroll. And now we're extending our coverage definition to include parents, in-laws, and grandparents, regardless of where they live or whether they receive financial support from you. Next slide.
I believe that's it, Brandon.
All right.
Thank you so much. The
Thank
Allstate
you.
Identity Protection, you betcha, it's a great plan. There are some questions that came through in the chat. So Wincy, there is a recording of this to listen to again. Although since I stumbled a little bit, what you might want to do is there's another webinar on the 25th from noon to 1 o'clock. And Jessica will send out that invitation to everyone. I can't remember if we sent them both out or we sent this one out first, but there will be a recording and there will be another seminar. Dan, the MetLife critical illness and accident details, if you go into Workterra, the rate, if you go into the enrollment system, the rates are in there. However, if you want to make sure you're getting the right quote, the right rates for you, for your situation, that 866 number is probably the best way to call and just make sure, even if you want to come back and enroll later. And Lucy, the premiums for some of the products are in this on the HSS page, but the Workterra website is where they can all be found. And then again, it is being recorded, Wincy. So thank you for those questions, and we'll move along. You know, we know that everyone has pets, and pet insurance has really grown over the years, and it's become more and more popular. And so Pets Best is the pet health insurance plan that the city and county makes available. And I'm going to explain a little bit about how that works. And then when we get to the end of this, it will reiterate that you do have to call Pets Best because the rates are based on the breed and the age of your pet. So to give you an idea, though, there's two different plans that are available. There's an accident plan, just like it seems. If your pet has an accident, it's covered under that plan. But then there's also the accident and illness, which is most popular for good reason, because we're probably more concerned about our pets getting sick or having an illness than we are an accident. They're not as accident prone as we are, right? But so there's two different plans. And then as an option, you can add routine care to that, so that just, checkups and what they would refer to as wellness coverage, even for your pet, you could add that on as well. And I'm going to show you an example of that. There's no network. It doesn't matter where you go, but you use your vet, any time, and then it's a reimbursement model so that you get your bill, you send it in, and then they reimburse you for whatever the benefits would be. So here's a very simple process of how you would do this, and that is essentially you get a quote, and it's going to be based on the type of pet that you have, the breed, and then their age, and then where you live. And then you can customize the coverage that you have, either 5,000 or you can do an unlimited amount. There's deductibles you can choose between $50 and $1,000, and then you can even choose your reimbursement amount, whether it's 70%, 80%, 90%. And so there's a lot of options here, and that's why it's best to call Pets Best. Again, you choose that essential plan. That's the most popular one, that includes accidents, illnesses, cancer, hereditary conditions, etc. Or the basic one that includes visits, exam fees, etc. And then the elite plan, which is going to include all sorts of additional things. So there's actually multiple tiers in each plan. This is an example. It's a little busy on the slide, but it's an example of two different options that you might have, what the premiums would be, and the total benefits that you could receive from all sorts of various things. From heartworm prevention, for example, flea and tick example, protection, having a microchip done. So you can see it adds up to, probably twice what the premiums that you would pay. So, it's kind of like any other insurance. If you utilize it, and you're really involved with your pet's health, just like with ourselves and our families, our children, then the plan is going to pay more than your cost. If you don't, then you would kind of want to take a look at some of this and think about, well, how much am I going to really spend? And make sure that the benefits are best for you. So again, quick review, get treatment anywhere you wish. You pay for your treatment, and then you file a claim and you get reimbursed. So again, it's a reimbursement model, if that makes sense. And here's you can enroll at petsbest.com/CCSF. That's the key word, or call them, because there is a discount available to city and county employees. And so you can call their number directly, 888-984-8700. You can go to their website directly, which is basically petsbest.com. And if you put that /CCSF, then it'll reflect the discount that you have as a city and county employee. Lastly, or I think it might be second to last, we have a legal plan through Legal Shield Associates, and Legal Shield is a legal plan that's designed to essentially, for a fairly small membership fee monthly, to kind of belong to a legal club or to have access to actual attorneys, kind of thinking in terms of having an attorney on retainer. And it provides through the membership some basic services and then discounts to additional services. And we'll look at a couple of examples of that. So you have direct access to a dedicated law firm. In other words, as a member, there are certain law firms that make themselves available through the program, just kind of like a medical network. If your health plan is with a particular provider, they'll have a network. So you have a number of different law firms in the Bay Area and all over California, but in the Bay Area primarily, and they'll respond very quickly. So they'll do things like review documents. They can represent you in court. They can write a letter, make a phone call, help you if you have a ticket. They can do all sorts of things to basically, support you and represent you as a member of the club. So a couple of the things that they do, there's an unlimited number of issues where they will give you advice. So that's great. You always have someone you can call for advice. They will provide some civil trial defense for certain things. They'll provide some assistance and advice if you get audited. They'll also provide emergency access for what do I do? I've been in an accident or something has happened. Part of the plan, which I think is one of the best features of the plan, is that they will help you prepare a will, and a basic will is included in the coverage. A lot of times people will want to go into living trust and things like that, but a lot of the basics are covered as a member of the legal club, which is fantastic. So it's a good program. You can cover yourself, spouse, domestic partner, never married to children under 26, living at home, or full-time student. You can see right here on the screen, dependent children, if you're a guardian of them, like a grandparent. Certainly anyone with any special needs that is living at home with life would be covered as a dependent, which is great. They also have an ID shield, which is kind of like an additional identity theft protection, and it's a buy-up or an add-on to the legal plan. So not to be confused with the Allstate identity theft protection, but it's an add-on. It's not as comprehensive as the Allstate plan, but if you have the legal plan and you wanted to just add some additional costs, then you can add some of these protections on as well. And these are some of the services that they provide, very much, not unlike the Allstate identity protection. They will provide some restoration and some protection, $1 million. They'll do some investigation, similar eligibility as the legal plan, the member, and the member's family. And here you can see the rates. The legal plan only for an individual or a family, it's the same rate. It's $8.75. And the ID Shield can be added on to that pretty inexpensively. Again, not quite as comprehensive as the Allstate plan. And they do have some member perks, which are kind of fun. So that's a little bit about the Legal Shield plan. The last plan that we're going to review is Benefit Hub. And Benefit Hub is kind of like discounts on all sorts of things. And you may or may not have seen this. It was rolled out last year, did not get a lot of attention. But you can see if you go to Workterra Voluntary Benefits.benefithub.com, then you can actually see, and there's a referral code you can see on the screen there, and you would register as a new member. And so it's something to check out. Movie tickets, electronics, that type of thing. It's just kind of a club. And it's something to check out. It was introduced last year. I think we're going to, make it even greater next year, but it's something you can check out. So again, with that, just as a reminder, and someone asked about the telephone number, and this is probably the best telephone number that you can call, and that's 866-528-5360. And you may get someone live and in person right at the moment, or you may not, but certainly you could get a call back, and someone will call you back, and you can schedule a time to really go through it all. Or if someone's available right then and there, they can ask the question. And so that is the best question. If you do have any problems logging in, that's the best number to call. I know that Wincy asked that question, and then Lucy has a follow-up question. The Legal Shield plan is portable, as far as I know. That'd be a question to call, but I'm almost certain that is something that you could continue on and be a member after you retire. So shouldn't be any problem with that. There is a slight discount, I believe, as a member of CCSF. So you might, and again, it's maybe, I think it's 5%, 10%. I think the slide may have even showed 25. So that was something that could change if you left, but you could still continue the plan. We can make certain if you call that number, or I tell you what I will do is I will get a hold of Legal Shield and I'll make sure. So lots of good questions. We appreciate that. A few bumps there with the slides that were a little different. Sorry about that, Brandon, if you're still on. Thank you, Jordan with MetLife, for going through all of that. And thank all of you for your time and attention. Again, just to stress, 866-528-5360. Any questions you have, there are summaries, as one of you asked. There are just summaries on the SFHSS page. You can get there through my apps. You can get the webinar through the bottom there, or we are having another webinar, as I think I mentioned, on the 25th. It'll be from noon to 1 o'clock, and Jessica will send out another invite. So thank you all for attending. I'm going to stop sharing and just to see if anyone else. Legal Shield, Wincy, great question. Any living trust? Essentially, there is. And so Legal Shield can walk through the specific benefits of what is available just as a membership. I know for a fact that a simple will is included. There's no additional cost to that. And then you could find out from there, depending upon, what the trust looked like, how extensive it was, what features it had in the trust, if that's included, or if that would be an additional cost. But I'm pretty sure that it would still be cheaper going through Legal Shield, because the will would be, included at no cost. That saves a lot of time. And then to add on a trust, a lot of those costs will be covered as far as the time and gathering all the information. So hopefully that makes sense. But you can contact them directly. And all of these contact information for the specific The Pet's Best, again, to check for the pet insurance or the legal plan, is available. Call the number, or go online and schedule a session, or just call the number and you can get all this information. So hopefully that answered everybody's question. And again, I'll just go off here, see if there's any other questions. And stop sharing. And let's see, it looks like we are up to date on all the questions. I'm going to jump back here just to make sure we got them all. I think so. We did record this. There is another seminar coming up. The premiums are in the Workterra website, but it would be an enrollment site, so you'll see what the premiums are as you go in there to enroll, and you don't have to enroll. You can, check back or close out of the system before you would actually enroll. So any other questions or any other thoughts? It looks like we're up to date on the chat. Really appreciate everyone's attention, your attendance. Again, this is Rob Fulton with Workterra. All of these benefits are designed to help complement the wonderful benefit package that you have as a city and county employee. And we really appreciate you learning more about them. You have all month to enroll. Go online, use that telephone number, and if you have any other questions. Thank you all very much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I guess it's pretty much gone now. So have a great rest of the week. Appreciate it a lot. And thanks for all that you do for the city and county of San Francisco.